Hey, how's it going? My name is Ed. Today we're going to be going over engine mounts, in particular the torque mount, which is the one that stops the engine from going like that. So we're going to discuss that. We're going to be going through OEM mounts, polyfill mounts, inserts, the VR mid plate. We're going to cover all that in this video. And this is going to be for the B15 Sentra with the QR25, so like the Spec V, the SER. But a lot of this applies to other vehicles as well. Let's get into it. So this engine basically has four mounts. You have one for the engine here that holds it up. You have one on the transmission that holds it up. And then you have two, one underneath on the front side, one underneath on the back side, that prevents the thing from shaking too far back and forth. So when you accelerate, you know how you see the engine like kind of tilt? That's what the other two mounts are designed to minimize. As you see, without any kind of mounts, the engine just kind of wobbles around. So how is the bottom mount set up? You basically have your cross member. On top of the cross member, you have your front mount, and then you have your rear mount right here. This is what a factory Nissan mount looks like. Heavily used, worn mount, but this is what a factory mount looks like. As you can see with the rubber flexes and you got all the open space, it allows for a lot of movement. Actually, the Spec V engines, the stock mounts, actually moves quite a bit from the factory. Which is kind of surprising because there's two mounts in the front and in the back. You would think having two mounts would minimize the movement quite a bit, but there's still a lot of movement. So, a couple ways to resolve that. You can take some polyurethane and fill the mounts, and basically you're filling in all these gaps. If you go back in my videos, you'll actually see the video where I do this. That is one option to be able to, stiffen up your mounts, is just filling it with polyurethane. The downside is it takes like a week for this polyurethane to like fully cure. So you're either not going to be able to drive your car for a week, or you're going to have to buy new mounts and fill them. Next option would be doing something like an insert. Let's pull this out. And this, you just basically, you can get these through like energy suspension or whatnot. And they just insert into your factory mounts. And so that fills up the gap with this much stiffer polyurethane, and then you still got the little bit softer rubber in there. This is a great option for most situations, actually, because it's quick, it's easy. Well, once you get to the mount, it's easy and get it off. But there is one more option. Which you probably saw in the title or thumbnail. Your other option is putting a mid plate on there. So this is the Vision 1 Racing mid plate. I believe it's the only company that's making mid plates for these cars. And basically you're replacing all this, your cross member, your mounts, all those brackets, with this fairly thin piece of metal, and then some brackets to actually connect it on. The plate bolts onto these brackets, and this bracket bolts to your transmission bell housing. And that replaces all that. So that basically bolts your engine directly to the frame or body of the car. So what's the benefit of running the mid plate, the Vision 1 Racing mid plate? Well, the benefit is eliminates almost all the movement of your engine flexing like that. So now all the power is going directly to the ground. You will probably have some increased vibrations because the vibration is going to go directly to the body of the car without having any kind of give sponginess to it. And also, it removes all those parts and actually gives you right about a 20-pound weight reduction by putting that mid plate on. I did weigh the factory cross member and mounts, and I weighed the Vision 1 mid plate. The factory setup with all the brackets and everything is included is just a hair over 24 pounds. The mid plate with the brackets is just a hair under 4 pounds. So it's about a 20-pound difference between the mid plate and the factory. So you have some weight savings there. For me, I'm not worried about the weight savings. If I was worried about 20-pound weight savings on the car, I would just go on a diet. What's the dark sides of this mid plate? Why should you not get this mid plate? Because there's a lot of back and forth on it. Some people don't like it. Some people that have it love it. And what's the concerns about running this particular mid plate or any mid plate in that matter? And so first of all, maybe about a year, 2 years ago, I don't remember exactly when, someone actually had one of these mid plates fail. It cracked in half. I don't know what the root cause is of that, but it is something that happened. And so Vision 1, from what I was told, had rectified that issue from being able to happen again. I don't know if they made the plate out of thicker steel or what they did to rectify it, but haven't had any issues like that show up again on the groups. The concern is all that vibration is now going to the bell housing. And is the bell housing going to be able to hold up to long-term vibrations and abuse? Is the bell housing going to start cracking? Because the bell housing is basically like a sand-casted aluminum. It's not made to be a structural piece. The factory mounts are mounted and designed to be in a structural location. The bell housing of your transmission is not. So at this point, time will tell whether people will start having more issues with these plates or not. I can't say I'm going to recommend it for a daily driver, but if you got a track car or something where something breaks on, it's not that big of a deal, or maybe a weekend car or something. Yeah, I mean, if you want to get it, but it's not something that I feel comfortable personally recommending for everybody for a street car. Along with that, having that mid plate, you really want to have your other mounts solid as well, because you want to reduce as much flexing as you can, because that's just going to be putting more strain in other parts. And there's a difference between driving on a smooth track and driving on streets every single day with potholes, bumps, speed bumps, and things like that. I'm not going to do an install on a mid plate or anything like that. If you want to see something like that, go check out Caleb and Carr's video. He's got a good video on that. All right. Thank you for watching. Aloha. Peace out. Catch you in the next one.